Hi, this is just a review of the syllabus. So my name is Rob Kovacic. This is a 5 credit class. It's online for the lecture portion, and the lab is at home, and you're going to need to come pick up those kits. I do Zoom tutoring by request. There's my email address and my phone number. The text we're going to be used for this class is this OpenStax text, and it's a free PDF. You can purchase a copy of it pretty much anywhere, and they're not very expensive. New. You're going to need a scientific calculator, and a scientific calculator has the ability to do scientific notation, and that would include things like 10 times. When you've got a number like 2.5 times 10 to the third, you need to be able to enter that into the calculator. So this course is a general chemistry course that is going to assist you with learning about science and learning about how science works. And it's a prerequisite for a lot of classes like Biology 121. You're going to need to have an equivalent score or Math 95 taken concurrently or before, and Writing 121. The intended outcomes for this course are assess the impact of general chemistry theory on the phenomenon encountered in everyday life, including the environment and human health. Chemistry has drastically changed how we live our lives, from medicines to computers to automobiles to furniture. I mean, everything around you. Some chemist figured out some way to do that. There is basically nothing that is happening inside of your lives that isn't related to something that a chemist did. Okay, so the second one here is apply critical thinking skills and an understanding of scientific inquiry to make evidence-based decisions on issues that affect the environment and the community and encourage lifelong learning. So what we're talking about here is the ability for you to look at something and come up with a plan on how to accomplish whatever the goal is, and use evidence to support your theories. So we're going to do a lab about what year the US Mint changed the composition of the penny. And it's happened several times, but we're focusing on a time frame between 1976 and 1990. And I know you could Google it and figure it out immediately, but I need you to be able to show me how to do that if there was no internet. And you step through that in that lab, and you will be able to provide evidence for your decision as to what year that penny's composition was changed. So the next one is about math, and all of that math that you had done in high school, maybe middle school, you're going to use a bunch of that now. So you're welcome that you actually get to use it, and it's not completely useless for everyday life. And yeah, so there'll be a bunch of math in this, and I'm going to teach a specific way to use math in chemistry that some of you may or may not have seen. The next one is communicate complex scientific concepts and reasoning effectively, both orally and through formal and informal writings and reports. So what this is about is being able to generate some kind of information in a way that people can understand it. And when you don't do this, we waste a lot of time. So when you finish a lab report, I should be able to take your lab report and duplicate exactly what you did and get the exact same result that you did. That is what peer-reviewed research is. That's when a person says, I read this study. Well, that study needs to conform to the ability for the study to be replicated. And honestly, that's really what science is, the ability to replicate something that somebody else did. And to do that, you have to communicate effectively. And to do that, you need to be able to write or speak effectively. And if we can't do that, then we're going to have to do things again and again. So my example is we have invented calculus 5 times. Literally 5 different people and groups of people have invented calculus. Why? Because the first person that invented it didn't communicate it correctly in a way that everybody across the world could understand it. And so we had 4 more peoples or groups of people have to come up with calculus because it wasn't effectively communicated. Collaborate effectively with others. It's less of a deal with this class because it's online, but I'm hoping some of you can hook up with classmates and complete labs. There's a little bit of this associated with the online forums. And the last one is critically evaluate sources of scientific information to determine the validity of data. This is really bad right now, especially in the United States, where people will just make stuff up and cite things that aren't actual studies. And so I need us to be able to look at something that we're reading and then determine if that thing is valid or not. So we'll do a bunch of that in this class. I'm expecting you guys to log into the course several times a week. I have a rigid schedule about when things are due, like homeworks are due on specific days of the week, the quizzes are due on specific days of the week, the forums are due specific days of the week, and same thing with the labs. And it's that way every single week. So you always know you have a homework due on Wednesday, period. End of story. There isn't anything for you to be thinking about. That's just what it is. Anything that's late, I'm going to downgrade you because I need it to be on time. I don't want you guys to be working on this week 10 and trying to, do an entire 11-week class in a week or so. There isn't any extra credit. Just work on the credit. You don't need extra credit. Just do what you do. There are different types of graded activities that I'll talk about here in a minute. I use a particular criteria or standard to grade those things, meaning I have a rubric, I have something I'm expecting to see when you're answering a homework question or you're turning in a lab report. The specific weighting for the assignments, it's basically all of the points that you're going to earn in this class, regardless of what it is that you're looking at, are going to be equal. So if you miss 1 point on a quiz, it's exactly the same thing as if you miss 1 point on a homework or a lab or a forum. So all the points are worth exactly the same. So, get as many as you can. There's about 600 total for this class. If you were to get a perfect score, and 90% of that will give you an A, 80% will give you a B, and so forth. Or the addresses for the college. So if you're not familiar, here's the Hood River campus. You can come and get your kit on Thursday at 11. And here is the Dalles campus, and you can get your kit Tuesday at 11. It looks like there's a total of 595 points. And again, every single thing is equal weight. The Moodle calendar actually has all of the due dates. So you can just hover over the calendar in Moodle and it'll show you everything that's due, when it's due. Everything is going to be need to be submitted as a PDF. That's for a formatting issue. If you don't have the ability to create a PDF, you probably do and just don't realize it. And we can set up a little Zoom interview and I can show you exactly how to take care of that. You've got 2 homework assignments per week, Wednesdays and Fridays each week. If there are calculations, you must show all of your calculations to receive full credit. If you don't show me your calculations, I'm not giving you credit for doing that work because I need to see that you know how to do that work. There's one paper. The paper is going to be about a vitamin or a mineral, and I want you to pick a vitamin or mineral, post that in the topics for the paper, and then write the paper. And here's your criteria for the paper. Not very long, and it's due week 10. Week 5, I want you to have made your choice as to which vitamin or mineral you want. And again, submit it as PDF. The participation stuff, this is where you're going to be asking. You're going to grab a question out of the back of the textbook, each chapter. And for week 1, it'll be chapter 1, and week 2, it'll be chapter 2. And you can go for each week. These are the chapters that I'm looking for. And then you'll answer, you're going to post 2 questions from those questions out of the back of the book, and then you're going to answer somebody else's question. So you'll be able to interact with each other. There'll be 11 quizzes. The quizzes are 10 points apiece, so 110 possible. For the most part, the quizzes are multiple choice or fill in the blank or true and false questions that are pulled out of a test bank, although the first quiz is different. So 10 of them will be pretty much the same, but the first quiz is a little bit different than the rest of those. Then the labs, there are 10 labs. Those are going to be 20 points apiece. You're going to be doing those at home, and you will do one of those per week. And then I'm going to have those, you're going to have those submitted in a PDF with photographs showing the process that you did to complete that lab. The lab kits, you're going to get 5 points for picking it up. You're going to get 5 points for returning it. If you do not return the kit, the college is going to charge you $300 for it because there's some expensive stuff inside that kit. Don't worry about it if you break a beaker or a thermometer or something like that. That's taken care of, but I need the bulk of the kit returned if you guys are finished with it. And then you're going to introduce yourself, and that's 1 point. So when you're doing the labs, I need to make sure that you are free of any distractions, obstacles. I need to make sure that you clear off your space and are ready to do the lab, and you're not going to have any, you know, cats or dogs or any people coming in and messing with your equipment. Make sure you have eye protection on. You cannot wear contact lenses. You need to wear prescription glasses. Contact lenses are not acceptable because they'll trap gases against your eye. Um, no messing around or goofing off. Stuff happens, and uh, if you're playing around and you're dealing with things that are hot, things that are potentially corrosive, so I want to make sure that you are not messing around. And then the most important part about this is to make sure that what you want is what you have. There'll be several white crystalline powders in this course. I want to make sure that you have the right white crystalline powder in your hand before you add it to something, because adding the wrong things together can be problematic. So just make sure that before you do something, you're following the instructions in the lab and that you make sure you have the right thing in your hand. We've got the calendar here, so it shows that we've got homework due here and homework due here and quiz due here. So you can just go through this and it's every single week, it's exactly the same. And then finally, don't cheat. Um, it's always been pretty obvious when a person's been cheating in this class, so don't do that. ADA statement, if you have a disability or whatnot, come talk to me. We'll figure something out. No discrimination. This is a pretty much don't be a jerk. If I find anybody being a jerk in class, I will remove them from the class. The flexibility statement kind of doesn't apply to us because we don't really have to worry about weather, but it could be. It could be bad weather, and then we've got like an internet outage. So if that's the case, then I'll readjust um, uh, the due dates of things. Alternate assignment. This pretty much goes along with the ADA statement. Talk to me and we'll figure something out. Again, this is the DEI statement, and want to make sure nobody's being a jerk to anybody else. And if you need anything that isn't exactly class related, go ahead and talk to student services, specifically Shana Dahl, and they can help you out. Anything class related, seriously, just come talk to me. I am very available. My work email is attached to my phone, and I regularly answer students' questions within minutes of them asking a question. So don't hesitate to send me an email. All right, that's everything. Hope you have a good term.